Hi, welcome to our next level 1 algebra video, and we're now looking at how to solve exponential equations. Right, straight into some examples. We're going to solve x to the power of 2 is 64. The opposite of power of 2, or squaring a number, is the square root. We don't have to write that little 2 there, but we're going to take the square root of 64 and we're going to write it as either 8 or negative 8. 8 times 8 is 64. Or negative 8 times negative 8 is also 64. So when we're solving the equation x squared is equal to 64, there are two possible answers that x could be. All right, example 2, x to the power of 3 is equal to 216. Well, just like the opposite of squaring a number is the square root, opposite of cubing a number is the cube root. We do need to write that little 3 there now. So we're going to take the cube root of 216. We're looking for a number times by itself. That gives us 216. And that's 6, because 6 times 6 times 6 is 216. But like the last example, if we looked at could it also be a negative number, negative 6 times negative 6 times negative 6 is negative 216. So the negative answer doesn't work here. All right, example 3. What about this? 0.5 times x squared plus 5 is equal to 13. Well, the first thing we've got to do is get rid of that plus 5. So we're going to minus 5 off both sides. And that leaves us with 0.5x squared on the left and 8 on the right, because 13 minus 5 is 8. Now the second step is we're going to divide both sides by the 0.5, the coefficient out the front of the x squared. But we must do that to both sides, so the 0.5s will cancel, leaving us x squared. And on the right hand side, be careful here, when I go 8 divide by 0.5, a lot of people think I'm trying to halve 8. If I went 8 divided by 2, that would be 4. But 8 divided by 0.5 actually gives me 16. When you divide by half, you double it. Right, now I can take the square root and get my two solutions, either 4 or negative 4. All right, let's turn our attention to a slightly different exponential equation. This, 3 to the power of x is equal to 243. Well, 3 to the power of 1 is 3. 3 to the power of 2 is 9. 3 to the power of 3 is 27. 3 to the power of 4 is 81. And 3 to the power of 5 is 243. So we've solved the problem. X has to be equal to the number 5. What about this? 2 times 3 to the power of x plus 1 is equal to 55. Well, the first thing we've got to do is take away 1 on both sides. And that leaves us with 2 times 3 to the power of x on the left-hand side is equal to 54 on the right-hand side. Now we're going to divide both sides by 2 to get rid of the times 2 on the left. The times 2 and divide 2 will cancel. That leaves us with 3 to the power of x is equal to 27, because 54 divided by 2 is 27. And now if we go back to our powers of 3, we can see that 3 to the power of 3 is 27, so x has to be equal to the number 3. Right, our final example, 3 to the power of x minus 2 is 81. Well, let's work through our powers again. 3 to the power of 1, 3 to the power of 2, 3 to the power of 3, 3 to the power of 4. 3 to the power of 4 is 81. So we need this little power up here to be 4. 3 to the power of 4 is 81. So we're going to say x minus 2 has to be equal to 4. And then if we plus 2 on both sides, we worked out that x has to be equal to the number 6. Great, thanks for watching.